Hey everybody, how's it going? Real Diversity here. We're back with another video. We're gonna be talking about. It's been a minute. We haven't done a car list video in a minute, but we are going to be talking about the new Wisdom of Sea and Sky for A4. Now I have not seen any. Well, I've seen Lugia and Ho-Oh, and that's it. I don't know any of these other cards. We're gonna be going through this. We're gonna try to go quick because these videos can end up taking like an hour if I stop and look at every single card. But I'll kind of look at some of the basic evolutions, but mainly just the highest stages is what I'll normally glance at. But first, let me talk about this. I think this says mainly going to be Gen 2. I will talk a little bit about Gen 2. Gen 2 is a little bit underrated, in my opinion. Now, now let's not overrate Gen 2, but it's a little bit underrated in my opinion. I think this gen had the most simplistic designs for Pokemon, which to me sometimes simple is better, and this one like competes, I guess, with Gen 1 for the most simplest Pokemon designs. But yeah, Gen 2 very simple designs, very safe game. I love the story Gen 2, and they introduced a lot of things like baby Pokemon and that type of thing in Gen 2. And then I thought Gen 4 or was it Gen 3 had baby? Was it I'm pretty sure Gen 2 had baby Pokemon, right? I could be wrong on that. I hope I'm right. But anyways, yeah, one of my favorite gens. I played it later, and I think my first introduction to Gen 2 was Heart Gold. Heart Gold, Leaf, Soul Silver. Those games were amazing and great. I love those games. And so yeah, Gen 2 has a special place in my heart. For also, and Heart Gold Soul Silver had one of the best, if not the best. I wish I had my old cartridges to see how many hours I had put into those games. But Gen 2 remakes had some of the best post-game things to do. Like it was so much to do after you finish. So yeah, I love those games to death. All right, so let's start it off. Oddish, okay, that's actually pretty strong for Oddish. To be able to poison on your early turns, especially if your Pokemon opponent has like a big basic like Giratina or Darkrai, something like that. Poison it early, a lot of damage, not bad. Blossom, Petal Dance, flip 3 coins. It say does 60 more damage. Wait, 6 damage for each head. The Pokemon is now confused. Interesting. So at worst, your opponent's confused. At best, this actually has crazy high potential now that I think about it. This tag does 30 damage for each head. So 3 heads, you're doing 180. This card may see play, especially with the Leaf Cape. Huh. Because Grass is always pretty strong, but like just 2 energy with rare candy. But I can see Blossom having some impact. That's kind of actually not bad. Like I don't like coin flips, but if it's gonna be a coin flip, it needs to be like this where the reward is really high. But also this one's a safe one because at worst your opponent's confused. Now I can't remember exactly what that means. I think you do flip a coin when you attack if you're confused. But yeah, either way, that's a pretty safe play. Even if you just get 1 head at 60, but with 2 heads, you're like 120 plus they're confused. Yeah, that's a dangerous card. I think Blossom's gonna see play even with the high risk of it. And getting 3 heads isn't too bad or too hard, but also getting 3 tails is just as easy to, or it feels like just as likely to happen. But yeah, just 1 heads is pretty good, or just 2 heads, you're really solid. You're pretty much taking anything out if you can get an early. Oh god, yeah, that card is definitely gonna probably see some play. I didn't mean to pause too early on such an early mon, but yeah, that card's gonna see some play. Tangrowth, this attack does 40 more, and I'll try to read these more carefully. I've been in the past, sometimes I've read these where I've been exhausted or something, and I've just like literally did not read what the card description was, and I read it totally wrong, and I just had the wrong idea about certain cards in the past. Until they came out, I was like, oh, that card is way different than what I thought it was. Okay, Tangrowth, this attack does 40 more damage for each energy in your opponent's active retreat cost. So, 40 more damage. So if your opponent has 2 retreat costs, this card does 90. If they have 3 retreat costs, this card does I think 130. And then another one. So if they're at 4, like Tangrowth against himself would do 4 times. He would do 170 to himself. which is interesting. Most cars are at 1, so this car doesn't seem that viable because it seems like you're only normally going to be doing 50. Even the 2 is just 90. I don't know, unless there's some big meta card that has 3 retreat. I don't really see this again. This would have been a great counter during the this would have been an amazing card during the Beast, the Ultra Beast set. But yeah, right now it just doesn't seem that great because all the Ultra Beasts have very high retreat costs. They was pretty much dependent on Stilla, I think I said. Oh, I said that right. Stilla, something like that. Anyway, Scyther, that's if Scyther was like 40 for 1, that would be okay. But yeah, 40 for, I mean, it's grass, so I mean, yeah. But either way, that's just not that great. Pinsir, I don't think Scizor is in Gen 2 yet, right? I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Pinsir, Guillotine 70 for 3 energy, not the greatest. Meganium, 80 damage for 3 energy, heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. Okay, that's with 150 HP too, not too crazy bad. If this was a 2 energy attacker, yeah, this card would be lethal for sure. Yep. So Ladybug and Lydian seem okay for just 1 energy. You can kind of just leave it, plug and play, and just 50 damage for 1. It seems consistent. Actually, that's just not a bad card. I think in certain decks, definitely. But I think the meta just doesn't allow cards like that anymore. Jumpluff 60 for 1. Again, your active Pokemon has no retreat cost. Oh, your active. So any of my that's actually not. This isn't that bad of a card either. Some of these cards are really like, most of the cards back in, it seemed like the cards they added just had like no use. There's almost no card in the grass we've seen yet that seems to be useless. Well, except maybe Heracross. Yeah, Heracross might be useless, but other than that, yeah, some of these cards are like really good. Sunflora, 2 energy for 70. Yanma, U-turn, switch Pokemon 1 of your bench Pokemon for 2 energy. That sucks for Yanma. If it was 1, that would be perfect. Yanmega 60 for 2 colorless. Again, I always like a Yanma and Yanmega always have colorless. Pinko, Shuckle. Let's see what Shuckle's about. Flip 3 coins to take that swings each head. Okay. Instant pressure. Only thing I hate about this Shuckle card is why is the HP so low? Shuckle's known to be a big tanky mon. Oh, okay, it has solid shell. Okay, so it takes 20 less from attacks. Okay. I mean, that helps, I guess. Yeah, 20 less from it. Because essentially, yeah, some basic mon can't even touch this thing. So yeah, I guess that's pretty okay. Yeah, yeah, definitely at 120, that's a solid range too. Because that's pretty much, you're gonna need to do 140 to one-shot it. And yeah, plus this thing's gonna heal up and stuff. So yeah, Shuckles actually might be pretty okay. It's just how lucky you're gonna get early game. Because you could be 60 at most. You're hitting for potentially 60. Your turn 1 is actually also really good. But obviously you're gonna be averaging around like 20 to 40 on that. But yeah, that's actually not too bad of a stall wall. Yeah, Shuckles, okay. I think he's gonna get some play. Heracross. This tag does 40 more damage. If this Pokemon has no damage on this tag, it's 40 more damage. Okay, that's interesting. 80 for 2. Shimmer, okay. Cyndaquil, one of my favorite fire types. Ninetales. Let me look real quick during points. Oh. Okay. 3 for 120. Wait, does Blaine, I wonder? Wait, plus Blaine? Question mark? 150, like, if you can use Blaine with this, 150, yeah, Ninetales is back. I just think maybe the setup may be too long. We'll have to see what other cards can enable the Ninetales, but yeah, I'm not hating that. Especially now, there is a lot of potential to sub in and out. I'm trying to think, is there any? I don't know. I can't off the top of my head think of anything that allows me to sub in twice with Ninetales. But yeah, not a bad card. Typhlosion. If you can sub in twice, Ninetales is gonna be definitely played. I think 150 for 3. Well, we're gonna need Blaine for 150, but 120 for 3, not bad at all. Fire Breath for Typhlosion. Once during your turn, you may make your opponent's active Pokemon burnt. You may. That's guaranteed, right? You may make your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay. 64. 2 for 60. Plus the burn. It's like 80-ish. I don't know. Not that great. Let me look at Spurt Fire. One other Pokemon, either yours or your opponent, is chosen at random 3 times. For each time a Pokemon was chosen, do 50 damage to it. Now that, wait, how many times? 3 times? Wait, is this any Pokemon? Wait, let me read this closely. One other Pokemon, either yours or your... Dang! Is this okay? See, this is an interesting. Is this between me, my Magcart, my Cargo, or one other Pokemon randomly, or is this like and it's between us two, or is this between all of our Pokemon at random? Like, so that's very interesting. That is a very, very interesting deal. 50 is crazy too, because you can knock a lot of bench Pokemon fossils out with that. That is actually pretty good. Okay, Entei. Oh, Entei is a lot going on here. Entei does not seem worth it. But I don't know. If something powers it up, I don't see why. I think Ho-Oh actually can power up Entei, but either way. Well, Entei is a basic. I don't know. Take a fire energy and electric and attach them to your bench Pokemon any way you like. So again, this does work with Entei, I guess. I initially saw this and thought it was kind of bad, but you're also doing 80 damage too. If you get 2 of these off, that's 160 damage plus 6 energy. And yeah, Ho is kind of broken, especially if you pair that early, maybe with something like a I would assume you may use Moltres here. I'm not sure if Moltres or not gets used here, but I don't see why it wouldn't be a decent pairing. Okay, Darmanitan, nothing crazy. Heat more. This does. If this was 1 energy, yeah, that would be pretty good for Heat more, but not too crazy at 2 energy. Polito, always a nice card to see. Hyper Voice for 2 energy for 60. I see Kingdra down there. Lorely Cheering. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, attacks used by your Pokemon that evolve from Poliwhirl do 40 more damage to your opponent. So, oh wait, this has to be on your bench. So if there's no, what's the other okay, Pokemon that evolved from Poliwhirl. So this is between another Polito and also Poliwrath, if that's the right name. I can't remember what Poliwrath. I gotta go look at the old Poliwrath. This may be a really good partner for Poliwrath. I gotta go look at his things, but yeah, Polito Poliwrath may be a decent combo here. 40 more damage as long as Pokemon. That's interesting. I gotta see what Poliwrath looks like. But just alone, 2 Politos. This one's doing 100 damage for 2 energy, so that's also not bad. But you need 2 rare candies to set that up, so that is really hard to do, and probably not worth the time, honestly. Okay, let me go straight to Kingdra here. What's going on here? Stormy Prison. Your during opponent's next turn, if Pokemon cannot retreat. Okay, not bad for only 2 energy too. You can get that up pretty quick, 90. Yeah, this is actually a lethal Starmie. A way better Starmie. But again, this is stage 2 instead of 3. I'm sorry, this stage 2 instead of 1 like Starmie is. But yeah, this seems like a better Starmie, but with way more HP. But again, you need a rare candy here. That's the only difference between this and Starmie. Gyarados. Oh, it seems like a new Gyarados card every 2 seconds. You may discard any number of bench water Pokemon. This card does 40 more damage for each bench Pokemon. What a total of what? Looks like 140. That may see some play. I'm not sure actually. For Alligator, discarded energy card from opponent's. Whoa, not too bad. Not too bad. Not too crazy good either, but not too bad. Zumarill. For how much HP? 150 for Alligator. I can tell you some of these aren't that great. Quagsire sucks. Suicune. Worse than Entei, it looks like. You know what's interesting though? Wait, let me go back to Ho-Oh. I think Ho-Oh is probably gonna work with every single. Yeah, I actually see now what may go down. All the like legendary dogs may work. They seem to all probably pair really nicely with Ho-Oh. So yeah, I see now what they're trying to do there. I used to love Cordon. He was on my Gen 4 team for just no reason. And I think my Gen maybe potentially my. Did he come out Gen 4? I can't remember. Him Gen 3 or 4, right? Either way, he was on one of my team. I used to love this guy. Unruly Claw. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, not too crazy bad, but also just don't see. It's just some of these just don't compete with the meta, man. Lantern. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. If tails, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Okay, either way, something's gonna happen. That also looks like it's gonna pair pretty nicely with Ho-Oh. I'm kind of just trying to like pin out who may work nicely with Ho-Oh, who won't. But this looks like another Ho-Oh pairing as well. Pichu, take 1 energy from your energy, attach it to. Okay, Pichu's doesn't seem too bad, even though it's gonna get freaking one-shotted. And Pichu's interesting because can you evolve your Pikachu into a Pichu? Because will they now have the Pichu thing? Because Pikachu is oftentimes a basic Pokemon, especially like when we're like between Gen 1 and 2. And so Gen 2 again, like I said, introduced the Babymon, and it's kind of interesting here. Ampharos, another one of my favorite Gen 2 Mons. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 40 more damage. If this tails, this does 20 damage to itself. 120 for 2 energy is actually crazy good, considering that Ampharos also has 150 HP. So that actually is pretty lethal, and I would take the chance on that. And yeah, that's actually not too bad at all. I can see an Ampharos deck for sure. If he has a good pairing, that's all that matters. If there's a good pairing or not for these Mons. Elekid, this tech does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench. Okay, again, some of these baby Pokemon actually aren't too bad, especially because they have no energy requirement. So, but again, that's a free. If you mess up, that's a free point for your Pokemon, your opponent. Raikou looks terrible. 70. That's not even what I'd rather run Ampharos, but again, this is a basic though. This opponent does 20 damage to itself. That just doesn't seem that great. Raikou has always been known to be one of those super early attacking type Pokemon. I just don't see what that card's trying to do. Slow King Psychic Say does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, another Alakazam type. I see that's kind of common with Psychics too. Togekiss, again, this Togekiss, remember, can be paired with Cynthia, I think, right? Is it Cynthia? To do 50 more damage with Cynthia, I think. If any damage is done to the Pokemon by attack, flip a coin. If it, oh yeah, this pair with Cynthia may do numbers. Espeon, nice. Love, nice. Okay, let's see what Espeon's got going on. 80. What's your ability? Once on your turn, is Pokemon X heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. Okay, not bad actually with 2 energy for 80. Anytime I see that 2 energy for like 70, 80, I'm not mad at it. So that adds up after 2 attacks, especially if you can get that going early. Doesn't it adds up? I don't see nothing else like that stands out here. I'm gonna keep going. Oh, what's unknown actually? Let me go look at unknown. Has any power in play with an ability to take over. So just kind of like a free Giovanni looks like, with if you meet the conditions. It looks like Sudowoodo, that looks worse. Gliscor looks terrible. Mamoswine also looks bad. Fighting, just there's no ramp with fighting, so it's just always bad. Looks like at least these mons look like they have low energy requirements though, so a little bit better, but 60 more. Donphan looks pretty solid though. Especially Donphan looks like a really nice turn. Like if you a turn 1 deck, if you go turn 1, looks like a solid turn 1 deck. With 3 energy, he's doing 110, so not bad. Crobat. Okay, that's gonna see some play. What the hell? Crobat, what in the world? 1 energy for 70? Bro, this is another turn 1 deck you want to see. Oh my god. That's crazy. You go turn 1 into Crobat? That's pretty much knocking anything out. Oh no. I can see now. That's gonna be meta. That's meta. This is going to ruin the game. Not ruin, I won't go that far. But that's just point blank simple meta. You can't dodge that. That's gonna be meta. What are we talking about here? 70 damage for 1 energy, plus they're now putting, so guaranteed 80 damage turn 1. So your second turn, before your Pokemon your opponent can evolve, they're finna take 80 damage to the face by Zubat. Now again, you have to meet the perfect. You gotta have that rare candy and Crobat on turn 1. But you're telling me with the EV Scylla, what's mine? Sylveon, there it is. EV Sylveon combo with research. No man, this is meta. This is going to be meta. And then within 2 turns. So again, within 2 turns. No. Okay, let's do some math here. Okay, 70 plus their poison, that's 10. If they stay in, they're poisoned again, that's 90. You attack again, that's 160. Plus they're poisoned again, 170 within 2 turns. Nothing surviving that. What are we talking about? Yeah, Crobat is instant meta. If not, I'm using him regardless. Umbreon. And then yeah, I mean throw in Umbreon too. Throw in EV Umbreon combo with Sylveon as a backup in case you need the extra pull. Like, come on now. Come on now. Yeah, that's gonna be meta. I don't see nothing else that great though. Why they always do Houndoom dirty, bro? Why is Houndoom always done dirty? Also, another one of my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon, Houndoom, really probably up there. Maybe between him and Typhlosion, definitely my favorite 2 fire mons, but those are some really unique designs for Gen 2. Tyranitar also very, yeah. Gen 2, man, just Gen 2 is great. Tyranitar. Let me look at this. Oh, okay. Well, Tyranitar actually can be just kind of. It looks like it can just sit on the bench and come in late game. Tyranitar may see play. It depends on if there's any ramp with or not. It looks like it can just pull all the energy when it needs to at some point. But Sky Marie, still attacks. Okay, Sky Marie actually looks pretty good along with Shuckle. Was Shuckle colorless or needed grass? Can't remember. Clink Clank during punch next turn. So, okay, well, I hate those build up attack ones because yeah, they just suck to me. Porygon Z. Actually not that bad. Porygon. Let's get Porygon 2 though. Oh God. That's crazy. Porygon 2 just pretty much gives you Porygon Z. Okay, that if I read that right, Porygon 2 just lets you evolve straight to Porygon Z. Wait. He will attack that turn too? It says whenever you attach a energy from your energy zone to this Pokemon, put a random card from your deck that evolves from this Pokemon onto this Pokemon too. What in the world? That means you can evolve straight into Porygon 2. I mean, Porygon Z the same turn as 2. That's crazy. Lugia 180. Lugia's okay. Okay, I see. So we obviously know Lugia and Ho are paired. What's interesting though with this, I don't know, with there not being no ramp for Ho-Oh, I just don't know if it competes, especially with that Crobat. I just don't know if it competes at all. But yeah, if there's let's look at the items. Yeah, okay, everything else looks like crap. So let's look at these items. Okay, move a fire, water, or electric energy from one of your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon. This should just be for any. I think this sucks. This card should just be for energy, but maybe that may be too broken. Squirt bottle, discard a fire energy from your opponent's active. Oh wow, that's why would? Okay, that's not bad item at all. I feel like it targets fire types pretty heavy for whatever reason, but it also works pretty nicely too into the Ho-Oh deck, I guess so. With Squirt Bottle, this seems like a direct counter to Lugia as well, because if you can get Lugia, like, you can pretty much stop Lugia from attacking with this. Seems very, very, very interesting. Steel Apron, the Steel Pokemon's card attached to takes 10 less damage from attacks. Oh, can't be fit. Okay, that's not bad at all. A good counter to this Crobat that's gonna be around. Dark Pigment. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, Rescue Scarf. That's yeah, that's this set I can tell now is gonna be meta. It's gonna change the game. I can tell now. I'm sorry if I'm just reading these items. The Rescue Scarf seems very interesting. Dark Pigment also very interesting, especially with that Crobat pairing. Dark Pigment is gonna be yep, a very annoying tool. Rescue Scarf seems interesting, especially for certain decks that struggle. I think that's gonna make it into a decent amount of decks, but potentially not. But I guess, like, I'm trying to think of a deck that this would really, like, anytime. It seems like it would be a pretty good item in a deck you just don't want to waste too many Pokemon slots on, but at the same time, you are wasting a slot for this card too. So I just don't know what exactly deck works the best with this, but I'm pretty sure there's a deck that works really nicely with the Rescue Scarf. What's Will do? The next time you flip any number of coins for the effect of an attack, ability, or trainer card, after using this card, the first flip coin will definitely be heads. No, not Will. Yeah, Will's crazy. That's a wait a minute, guys. There's a lot of cards, mind you. There's a lot of cards that only need to hit heads once. So Will is actually a crazy card. Lyra, I actually never knew the name of that girl. I knew Gold's name was Gold, but I never knew her name. So Lyra switched to active Pokemon with one of your bench. Oh, okay. This seems like a nice, again, I was saying earlier with Ninetales, this seems like a decent way to maybe potentially use Ninetales multiple times here. Silver, your opponent reveals Lyra again, like I said. Seems like a good way maybe to use Ninetales twice. Silver, your opponent reveals their hand. Choose a support card you find there and shuffle it into your opponent's deck. That's evil. I expected nothing less from Giovanni's son or grandson. I can't remember which one exactly. Flip 3 coins for each head. A water type. Oh, okay. Yeah, Fisher seems like a good. It looks like a direct pairing with that Gyarados card. Jasmine, during your opponent's next turn, all of your Steelix and take 50 less damage from attacks. Okay, Jasmine seems very strong, especially considering Skarmory already has a damage reduction attack. Yeah. And Hiker for each of. Oh, here we go for fighting for once. And put them back in. Oh, okay. Fighting actually has a decent card for once. Okay, nice. Yeah, I like all these cards. I think Crobat is my definitely keep your eye out. Lugia, someone's gonna work that out. Those decks never seem that great to me until I play them. And I'm like, okay, this deck actually isn't that bad. It's one of those decks you just gotta play and see for yourself. But everything else looks really nice. This set looks really crazy good. So I have high expectations for it. I'm gonna be definitely opening packs as soon as it drops. So yeah, keep your eyes out. I'll definitely make some deck videos. If you guys did enjoy this, please thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. Give me some critiques, guys. I do these videos all the time. I want to make this video a lot better than because I want to do this more consistently. Every time a new set drops, I want to make these. So if you guys have any comments, please let me know. I won't take it harshly. I love criticism. That way I can grow and hear some feedback. Love hearing feedback from you guys. Anything else, like I said, if you guys enjoyed anything, like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back with the next one. Real Diversity, man. We're out. Peace.